First of all, I have to say welcome to Norway.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's great to
And
meet
it's great to see. It's an honor for us to actually to meet you.
Thank you so much.
We both of us been into metal music since the 80s.
It's good to be with friends.
Thanks.
So how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. This is a very short tour for us, of course. We're only doing 4 shows. We've done 2 in Denmark. This is the 3rd one, and then we finish in Riga in Latvia, and then go back again. We've just come back from the South American tour. We were there for about 3.5 weeks. So it's before that we had done a European tour as well. So we've done a lot of work. This is just I think we're actually here. Thank you. Just really for the festival, I think, just for Hamar. And then we put some other gigs around it, but Riga came up, which was very cool, because I've not been to Latvia before. I've been to Estonia, but not Latvia. So, again, it's a very short one, but everything's going very well.
We both of us are been into metal since early, 80s, maybe 70s, and we both of us are guitarists. So I have to ask, we have to start with, who is your all-time favorite guitarist?
Well, it's an impossible question for me to answer because you can't compare the great players that I played with. Ritchie Blackmore is so different than Tony Iommi. Vivian Campbell is different than both of them as well. Somewhat a combination of the two of them, a little bit, probably more like Ritchie than anyone else. And he was so much younger when I played with him. And Craig Goldie, I think, probably is the best interpreter of the music of all those other people that I played with, because of course we do Sabbath music and Rainbow music as well, and Dio music that featured Vivian Campbell. I would say certainly that the 2 best that I played with have been Ritchie Blackmore and Tony Iommi. Both again very different. Well, I've never really played with Yngwie before.
But yeah, we have some recordings.
No, never played with him before. I sang that song, and he went in there at some other point and did the guitar solo. No, that was nothing to do with the 2 of us playing together. Yngwie's very different than all of them. Very different. I mean, I think his career certainly was first built upon speed and classical ability. He's a great guitar player, but I mean, I can't tell you that he was one of the best because I've never played with him before.
I thought you were really going to answer Craig Goldie because you couldn't say anything else while you were playing with him.
No, of course not. I think Craig would be the first to tell you how much he admired Ritchie and how he grew up listening to Rainbow and me and Rainbow, and how influenced he has been by Ritchie. And more by Ritchie than by Tony. Doug Aldrich, who also played with us, was also a great guitar player, more influenced by Tony than influenced by Ritchie. They were both great players, and Craig Goldie's a great player as well. Yes, but you asked me who I thought were the best, and I have to say Tony and Ritchie, certainly because of their history and because of the things they've written together. Tony because he was one of the creators of heavy metal music, and Ritchie because he was just so damn good.
But like Dio, the band Dio, what would be your favorite lineup then? Like what happened?
Right this moment is my favorite lineup. Truthfully, not just because they're here, but this is really the best Dio band I've ever played with. They are just so good.
Say so,
but I can tell you why. Vinny Appice was a great drummer, but there were times when Vinny started to get in the way. He started to be nothing but a fill machine. And I don't like people like that. I think a song should have space and breathe. You should be able to breathe. I think Vinny's a magnificent drummer, but for the Dio band, I find Simon Wright much better for me. He gives it space. He has the same feel. He has great sense of timing, great tempo. I don't think I've ever played with in fact, I know I've never played with a better bass player than Rudy Zarzo. Never. And once again, Craig Goldie interprets this music better than anyone that I've ever played it with, including Ritchie and Tony. So I would say this is definitely the best of the best band. I played with the best Dio band.
With Jimmy Bain as well.
Yeah, well, Jimmy was not the bass player. I mean, not even a tenth of the bass player that Rudy is. I mean, Rudy is just a maestro. He's really a master. And Jimmy was good for what Jimmy did. Jimmy just played and held it down and did it very well. But I can compare them now because I play with Rudy, and Rudy is just absolutely the best bass player I've ever played with. I think the first Dio band will have to be considered to be one of the best, of course, but that was a band that took a while to find it. Well, it found itself really right away, and then it took a while for it to lose itself. This band doesn't lose itself; it found itself, and it keeps going. So I have to say this is the one.
To see it.
Well, you believe me, it's true. It's the best one.
as well, though. You've been in
Sure.
this, for a long, long time.
That's a rude. That's a rude thing to say.
What kind of,
Choices of words
like
were
you
great.
as an older man now, what kind of music do you listen to now? Do you still listen to metal music?
I listen to the same thing I've always listened to. I always listen to a lot of classical music. It's what started me. It's what bonded the career between Richie and myself, who both loved classical music very much, and I've always been just so influenced by it. I listen to it because I play heavy metal music all the time, and I need to have a space. I need to relax, and it cleans my mind, especially when I'm going to write. It takes me away from listening to other people's music. Of course, I'll listen to whatever music is out there, but mainly I spend my time listening to classical music because I like to get away from what I do every day. So Bach has always been my favorite composer, because Bach was the original rock and roll player.
Yeah.
His bass lines were what everybody has stolen from him all these times. And Beethoven, for me, was, magnificent. So if you combine those things, it's been such an influence on me. So I don't listen to heavy metal music all the time. I occasionally listen to, I listen to Tool. I like Tool a lot, System of a Down, people that excite me, people who do good work. Just regular heavy metal music, I don't really find a lot of it going anywhere, and I don't really admire a lot of the singers in it. I don't think they're all really that good. But there are good ones, guys like Rob Halford and Bruce Dickinson, and those people who are have proven their mark. But again, classical music is my choice to listen to, but I listen to good rock.
By the way, Rob Halford, did you know he was gay all these years?
Yeah, I knew Rob was gay.
He
Yeah.
never tried it on with you?
Oh, no. Rob is a dear friend. He's always been a great friend of mine, and I admire as much as I admire him. No, that's not our relationship at all. I'm too old for him anyway.
There's no one really know, and everybody talks about, Black Sabbath days. What really happened? Is it true? Did you get sacked, or what happened really with the Sabbath thing?
Well, I'd say that once you're gone and everybody else stays, you probably got sacked.
Yeah.
Same with Rainbow. Everyone gets fired in their lives, in their career. I would only say about that whoever would fire me must be a fucking idiot. Because they lose not only a great singer, but they lose someone who writes really well.
I
Someone
totally
who really
agree.
cares about the music.
I totally
So you have to
agree.
understand that when those things happen, they happen for a reason.
Yes.
In the case of Rainbow, Richie is like a vampire. He sucks all the blood out of you, in that case, all the talent that he thinks he's gotten out of you, and he goes on to something else. And especially if he can't control you, then he doesn't really want to need you around too much, and nobody can control me, so that's really hard for him. But we had a wonderful run together. I think it was very silly for him to do that, but he wanted to be a pop artist at that time. So he got Joel and Turner so they could write puffy songs, not puffy, but puffy songs, cloudy songs, and that's what happened. And he had a great career with Joe, and Joe's a great kid and a great singer, but Rainbow was not created that way. It was created as a classical rock band, classical heavy band, and it did not become that anymore. So when I refused to write songs about "I love you, baby," because baby's not a word I use, then that didn't fit into the pop category, so I was sacked. In Sabbath, I helped recreate the success that they had. And once success comes back to you after not having it a lot, I think you start to believe everyone around you, and I think a lot of people were whispering in their ears about whatever it may have been, whether it was take this drug or take that drug or don't take this drug or whatever it may be. A lot of things happened that led to the breakup of that band, or to getting sacked, I guess it would be. So at that time I was lucky because I got sacked with somebody else. Vinny and I both got the elbow on that one.
Oh, yeah.
And all these years later, you look at the music that was made, and I think anyone with a brain or with ears will listen and say, boy, that was another stupid thing you did. And I think Tony feels exactly the same, that that it's not something that should have happened. And of course we got back together one more time. And leopards don't change their spots. The same things really happen again. Too many fingers in the pie. Too many people saying things to people that they believed. Instead of believing each other, which is what you should do as musicians, because it's your family that you're dealing with. It's you who sweats together and who writes together and fails and succeeds together. So you should listen to each other. But I would say it was being sacked. Yeah, absolutely.
Even though Bulls from Heaven House are really classic stuff.
Yeah, but that's nothing to do with being sacked, you know. Those are just great material, you know. That was a great combination between Richie and myself and Tony and myself. You can find those combinations very rarely. You can find them with Robert Plant and Jimmy Page. You can find them with Mick Jagger and Keith Richards. You can certainly find it with Ronnie Dio and Richie Blackmore and Ronnie Dio and Tony Iommi. And that I'm proudest of, I think, that we were able to have those. I was able to have that combination twice in my life.
This sign, this in Norway, you know, the metal guys, we call it the Dio sign, really.
You should, because I'm the one who kind of made it.
Yeah, but well, there's some people say that actually Gene Simmons made that sign up.
I learned that sign from my grandmother, so that means that Gene Simmons is either older than my grandmother or a fucking liar. So whatever it may be, I don't know. Gene happens to be a really nice man, but he claims that he invented air, water, orange juice, the hamburger, and rock music.
Yeah.
And you know I'm right about that one too. So I would say that, of course, I didn't create it. And I wouldn't be stupid enough or foolish enough or big-headed enough to say that I created it. I tell the truth, and the truth is that my grandmother, because I'm Italian extraction, my grandmother, it's called a Maloy. It's an Italian sign, which is to ward off the evil eye. And I saw my grandmother do that when I was just a little kid. I think I'm older than Gene, so I don't think Gene was around playing music at that particular point. So when I started to, I did it a few times in Rainbow, mainly in Sabbath. And because I did it so much, it became synonymous with me. It became the Dio sign.
Yeah.
And it was because I didn't want to do this, which is...
It doesn't look good on you.
That's not the Ozzy sign either. No one ever said to him, did you create that, Ozzy? No. Winston Churchill did. So it's just something that I did so much that it became more connected with me than anyone else.
Who cries for the children?
So, one final question.
Yes.
Who cries for the children, Dio?
I do. And about you?
Me too.
We both cry for the children. Very important.
Thanks.
Thank you.